All right. So, first things first, guys, I want to go to the weekly chart and we need to look at some definitive factors here. Lines in the sand, if you will. Over here, in the previous price action back in 2024 July, same time period we're going into now, we hit this 497 mark, waking up to in the 500s. That and the 500 flat, right, seem, when I look at the weekly, like no brainer targets, right? Currently looking at the potential for over the weekend swings or, even longer expiration swings, that seems the most tangible. Now, as far as a channel or anything else on the weekly time frame, there's lower highs or whatever you want to call them here, and the channel's holding, but it's not really giving me much information at all, right? It doesn't really do anything for us. Same thing on SPY, right? The only difference here is that SPY is approaching, not above. So 570.80 and this green candle here, without complicating anything, those are our two targets, resistances above us. Period. End of story. So looking down on the 24-hour, the question is, how do we get there and what needs to be accomplished when we do? Previously, you talked about the empty space, this little pocket right here. We filled up the majority of it. If you go down to the hourly, cruise over here, we barely wicked off of a previous resistance, 590. I had maybe 592 or 492, excuse me. But we're, as far as the 24-hour candle close and in reference to any sort of box, my strategy, anything like that, we don't have a trigger, right? We have to go with our candle closes, what we're above. And so a couple of things that we're above is that 5 or 483, right? And that's worth setting an alert on because that's where we kind of like no stop need to hold. Why that just went off, I don't know. Bro, just yapping a yap. Are you just being broke to be broke? What's up? Gang, gang. But with that being said, we have a wall at 483. And, I heard your comment about like, potentially, pulling back. That, as far as looking at the chart, there really isn't anything to stop us. I mean, we're not getting any major pushback here towards the end of the day. That could change, but I don't see any reason why we shouldn't possibly over the weekend. It's a little creepy or scary to be swinging with empty space underneath us. The way that we ripped out, at least on the higher time frames, so that can be factored in. But otherwise, if you're looking up, 494 on Qs, on SPY, you have two targets here. You'll have 571 and this top right here around 575. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is the implications of what happens here, right? And this is where the plan is going into next week, because how we respond to this level is going to determine whether we fill up the rest of that empty space and go revisit cost basis, which, again, we got to leave our opinions on the side. Yes, right now it feels weird swinging to the upside, right? When, especially, I would say on SPY and IWM without having the clear empty space. But going into next week, this is really what we're looking at, and we've looked at many charts when we were trending down, and they look similar, right? Where you go all the way back up, you test your cost basis, then you chop, then you break down. So without bias, and again, you have to decide whether or not it's worth the risk. To me, I think it's worth the risk once the floors are recovered around 575. And then with IWM, right, this one actually has not the worst setup in the world as far as the 24 hours concerned. The weekly is a little bit different, where it just simply is really trying to pull itself back up to 195, that previous floor over here to our left, and is leaving behind empty space on the monthly. That was the monthly, whoops, and the weekly, right? So on the weekly, we went up, and as we always do, we've gone pretty close to that green candle there to our left. And if that breaks through, we should be looking at a 214 retest. So, IWM has, and this is nothing. Like, when I look at this setup, I'm not like, oh, yeah, I got to take this now. Um, Good gap up, you know, good move to the upside, but in order for me to capture a runner or a ripper, um, there's a couple things that have to be done, at least on our major ETFs, for me to feel okay about that. I've heard this floor of 575 from Numis. Yeah, 575. If we all see it, right? It's the same floor. I mean, floor is a floor. It's overbought. Yeah, I mean, I really don't take that into account. I watched during COVID what we thought was overbought keep ripping for years after, or months after rather. So, all right. So, if you guys have anything that you want me to take a look at, you can drop those now. Really quickly, want to go over AAL, which did give us an opportunity to trim some profit, hitting that 570 mark, which is the previous wall over here to your left, and it is pulling back, right? And so, as far as a good candle close, a little sketchy, right? To hit that resistance. Our job when we hit resistance is to determine how you respond to said resistance, and that's not the greatest response, and it does have empty space underneath it. So you can either hedge with something looking down at $10, or maybe below into the 950s. Take your profit and skedaddle. So, um, what's going on? Brachiosaurus, interesting. All right, yeah, drop those on there. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. Shit, I didn't even see they posted that. Affirm. So I saw. I think I heard you guys talking about this one earlier. Couple things. This range, and it's actually kind of unusual, but this range from this candle close right in here, right? It almost looks like I'm trying to do supply and demand. However, it's a little different, right? There's a couple things that have to happen here on Affirm, and I know it has earnings coming up really soon, and so it was like a no-brainer target. And being that you are up against these two or close to, excuse me, 54.50, the target to the upside to me looks pretty clear, right? And that would be 61.34. Um, this is a big floor to be closing up against going into resistance or going into the weekend. And then on the weekly time frame, which everybody should be looking at, you also have some positive signs. So going into earnings, I don't hate it. I'd have to look at the contracts myself to see if it's worth my time. But yeah, it does look like it actually looks like everything else on the weekly. So, all right, love up. Damn. Much further you, yeah, see, I don't know if anybody took that one, but it was a great trade. Love definitely kind of blew the rest of them out of the water, moving right over this heavy area of consolidation, blowing over the top after it closed there yesterday, opening up, and now you're kind of, it looks like you're at a previous floor. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this candle close. It is similar to AAL, but to me, when I look to my left, it seems like 3060 is an inevitable target there. So definitely pretty clear though, what's underneath you. So if it's worth it, or that's a potential hedge. All right. So I know everybody's talking about this one. And I heard you guys talking about it earlier. It did try to go for a break, and then came right back in and resumed its box building. Unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Am I going to take this? I'm not sure. Um, I would personally like to see strength, especially when you touch that wick. When sellers push something down, they have a job to do, and they didn't do their job. So it's not the worst setup. And if you decide that you want to take it, again, it's actually something that would be even scarier in a way to hedge. I don't even know if I would hedge this, because if you fall back down, there's no guarantee you're not going to continue to chop. But it's hard to deny, right? You are and have been closing or pushing up against this one resistance. So one gap up, and you've got a great $100.50 target. So Uh,
And the way this thing moves, the contracts really aren't speaking too well. I mean, like,
here's the thing: the way that it moves or has moved, right, is the same way it moves here, where the contracts are trash and then they're not, and then they're trash, and then hopefully now, if you buy those trash, and that's what I my question, the next question would be,
right.
is what is the risk to reward on those contracts? If it's something that we can find, what the fuck that
I'd
is?
be looking at what, like 103s, right? For like kind of first target. I just don't like the prices.
Oh shit! Thanks for the fucking gifts, my guy. So I see, 14 days out seems like a good start. The first target's 100. That's pretty pricey, right? Um, 100s for next week, or what is that? The fucking same? No,
It's just pricey.
it is pricey, and because of that weird price, it would be almost better off. You would be almost better off targeting the whole enchilada, which still kind of boxes you out because you'd have to go 21 days out. And
Yeah.
that's where, yeah, a lot of you are not going to be able to take this. And that's just the way it is. You don't have the opportunity with the options, as somebody, if you're trading with my size or, over 20K or something like that, and you got bread, I don't see this as an issue, but I would have to, and that's the way. So if shorter expiration contracts worst enemy is theta, then knowing that the but that's also where we're able to apply that risk, because if contracts don't cost a lot, then it's low risk. In this case, right, we in order to take on this risk, we would have to add time. Um, so yeah, like 21 days out and like 105s or 14 days out, 102s or 103s. Um, that would be, you know, a shot, but, again, it's not a bad candle close at all. But I will say this has to actually, yeah, let me say that. It has to break.
Yeah.
Has to.
So even if you look at that box you made earlier, like up at the top, that last green candle was also a really good close. That the top of the box there, and like you see what happens
Yeah, and
on
that's
that.
that's that
It's
was
just a little
a
scary.
yeah, and I think that was after earnings. So you have
No, no,
like
no.
that
Before
all the way back here.
that. Yeah, that green candle up at the top of the box.
Yeah,
That
there
was a
you
good
go.
close.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. Yeah, so
you see what happens with that.
hmm so with this setup and you being here, it's you could go tap 100 and then come back down, but I don't actually see these a lot. But when you bang up against this long enough, eventually this whatever the fuck this is not that's not where volume is. The volume is at the 50% mark, and that's down at 92. So you can think about that as a potential downside target, but um, I'd rather just take. I mean, 102 target or 102 contracts for May 16th, and maybe a little bit lighter on the risk. So, all right. YN Locker. Yeah, please tag Alex Trades Options. We got a couple messages for that punk ass little bitch. And if you're watching this, tell him to watch this YouTube. Hey Alex, you should be a better person. Also, I'm still waiting on a call from your lawyers, and I was gonna post this because I thought it was too funny. Um, I know Alex, my assistant Alex, is probably like, "What the fuck?"
Bro. Now we
Yeah,
got something for
he
Ivy,
blocked me.
something for
Nothing I
Alex.
can do.
He blocks everybody, but he sent me this message, what I thought was just too funny. Um, and I'll get back to analysis, but yeah, look at this, embarrassing.
Oh God.
He said, "I would highly recommend you remove the video. I've spoken to my attorney, and you will be contacted with a cease and desist to remove the video. It's a lie, and you and I both know it." That was March 13th. You know what letter I've gotten? Nothing. Suck my butt.
Chef, he can't afford to get an attorney.
No, he can't because he fucking lives off of it, scamming people.
Bro,
Anyway,
the other day I was watching his live and he's like, how does it feel? You guys all report my channel and I come back and hit a 40% banger. And I started crying.
that's the most wild shit I've ever heard in my
Dude,
life.
I'm pissed if it only goes 40%. Can I be honest?
Dude, that's a fail.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a
I'm
fail.
offended and disappointed in my own. Yeah, like damn, I suck.
I was
40%.
looking
Salary
at
trades
AAL.
options.
It was
I'm
up
not even
200%, and I'm
waking.
like, that's not enough.
I'm not waking. Yeah, dude. When we swung the other day and it was like 200%, I was like, that'll do. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then Manny, I
Chiefs today
text.
hit 100%. And I'm like, yeah, it's a trim.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Target. Fun little detour there. Walmart. Brother, who's that? Is this? Are you asking? You got it. All right, you got it. This is again one of those things where me saying yes isn't gonna. You got it. You know exactly what. Yes, you are closing outside of the box. So yes, you have more empty space. In fact, what I would do in this situation is go from here to there. That's my damn. Apparently, I knew that already. $100.75. So you got it. You know, I know sometimes it's hard because you're like pause, but you know you're questioning whether or not you're like, I don't know, this looks too You got it. Especially if you, I think you've been asking me, and somebody else has been asking me. You know, since you were up against cost basis with this box, you know, I said you hold the box, break through, and that's where you're looking to get up at the top, and you are. Yeah, that wick is there, but what has it done? What has it pushed you back underneath? So, Tesla C320 swing. Listen, that's got to be news. I don't know what the news is going to be, but it's going to fill that up. That just feels inevitable. I don't know.
Thinking the same thing. Like
Yeah,
something's gonna come out. and push
something's
that
going to
up,
come
or
out.
down.
Elon's going to step down from Doge, or you know, I mean, who knows? I don't fucking know, but I know that this is definitely it would qualify as a new setup. The reason being, and I can explain that without just you know, that's not just lazy writing. This is a hints box, right? You have a weekly box like so. You've got empty space on the weekly all the way up to fucking 378, but we'll talk about that later. And then we have the empty space on the 24-hour, right? You're up against the wall, and sellers do have a job to do, right? They're holding, but they're not pushing back. So, I don't know what the fucking news is going to be, but the first target would be 325, and the second target would be 352. And again, if you take a shot on that, I guess I'm not looking at the contracts, but you do have empty space underneath you. So it's not hard to measure out what the worst possible case scenario is. And you'd have the best average. If this is 1, 2, 3, because that's, again, attention to detail, 1, 2, 3, this thing should gap up overnight. If it's going to break. If it does not, right, and you also have to break 305 for 303.89, excuse me. But that's it. I mean, again, don't know what's going to happen, but that looks like a fucking news bar. Let's see here. Who the fuck is Rick? Did that hit my target? Pretty fucking close, didn't it? I think I said 82, right? I did.
Sir, did you skip my ticker?
What, Rick? Is that a real ticker?
Yeah.
All right, well, you had a fucking Italian hand next to it, dude.
Yeah, you gotta know what they do.
They do hospital stuff.
It's a gentleman's ticker.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Let's see here. Looks like shit. No shit. It needs a financial erection outside of 42.22. The clear candle closes to your left. It has no volume in it. Everybody hates it. No, I'm just kidding. But you did tap the floor here. The box, in order to break higher, is 43.48, and then your target would be 45. Or this is 1, 2, 3, and whatever creepy shit this is going to fall. Anyway, MU. I don't like it. this close, this energy, again, it could very easily just push right back. It's nowhere near the sell wall, but I did say today, and my target, honestly was a little higher at 81, 91, 90, or 81, 95, and then 82. And you fell short of that. And when I look down here on the lower time frame and I see this box, it's like, okay, well, I don't know if we're about to fall right now, but it does seem like you should come here first and then maybe take that shot. So. Yeah. Let's see. What are you looking at? By the way, now that everybody's attention, not that I didn't, but dude, Clutch Computers, order from them. So I told them that I wanted to do, I was like, I can't come get it. Guess what these motherfuckers are doing? They're gonna drive it to my fucking house.
I was gonna say it's so solid. They're
I
gonna
was
drive
like,
it.
and they were like, dude, we just don't want anything to happen in the mail. It's such a crazy rig.
I agree.
And
How long is that drive?
it's 3 hours, but they're like, we got some people in the city that we really wanted to see and hang out with. So I was like,
That's easy work.
okay, please.
Save
$300
there.
Yeah, that's Clutch.
Give them a reason.
The kitten's asleep. Okay,
When are they?
Thank
When are
you.
they done with it?
What are they done with it? When? Tomorrow. Yeah, that's why I was like, dude, that's customer service, though. I'm sure they were like,
That's
yeah,
above and beyond.
that's above and beyond. I was like, damn, dude. I guess I'll give you a kiss or something. I'm fucking, yeah.
I'm gonna order one for them and have them drive it to California.
I really don't want it shipped. Could you drive it? You did it for Potter. Yeah. I know it's driving to everybody's house, but I think when you pay $8K for a computer, and I did send them like 5 Galaxies on TikTok, so maybe they were just like, I guess he already Uber feed us, but yeah, fucking badass. And then tomorrow I'll go live at some point and show you guys what I'm twerking with.
Wait, you're gonna dance tomorrow?
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Stay
All right,
tuned.
I'll cancel all my appointments, everything.
So
Rick.
Chad, what am I going to tell you? Oh, wait, hold on. Fall back to retest cost bases or breakout into all-time highs. I wish I had those answers. Here's what I'll tell you, Chad. I'm not selling my equity. Right? This is
Me neither.
This is an opportunity either A. I don't know about that. I mean, but mind you, guys, I have shares that I bought years ago, 2 years ago, down in the fucking $8 range. So I brought my average back up by buying in this chop, which is still crazy to me because how the fuck did the guy who told me that this was a no-brainer buy, we called him and we were like, bro, I bet you're gassed up right now. And he's like, no, I sold it. Sold it for like no gain. I was like, damn, bro, what the fuck? Anyway, so candle close. No, I do not call the kitten Astro. That's not happening. 194.81. Yes, I do see this as a potential break into all-time highs. If you don't and you have equity, as I do, you could potentially grab something cheap and out of the money for 98. And that's just anticipating some sort of projection here, but you're going into earnings. So maybe, right? And I would say this is actually probably my leading opinion. This is pricing earnings in. My opinion, right? News
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I was
Yeah.
saying the same thing.
I could see them spiking it up and then pulling it right back down, but I'm holding, and I'm not letting go of this equity for as long as the chart says we're going up. I'm fucking holding.
Okay. Yeah, I like it out of a low hedge. That's a good idea.
As far as Disney is concerned, again, you really have little to no option, right? Here's and I'm not sure if I want to go off the wicks or the bodies here. See, even I get scared sometimes. 4 hour, 2 hour. You're weak as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you. But you're moving up, and you're holding, and you don't really see any sellers stepping up. So what do we do when we're kind of in empty space, guys? What do we usually? What's the plan? What do we look for?
Above and below.
There you go. Fuck yeah. I guess teaching is working. So this is actually pretty cool because I can go down here and zoom in and you can already see the 3 wicks, right? So this gives me greater insight that down here, and then there, use this because this is going to be the defining factor, right? You are, by all means, where you need to be. The end of the day chop here is, no matter. That's what you should expect going into the end of the day. There's danger below, for sure. But you are into empty space. Your 24-hour candle close is decent. So at worst, and the reason I'm saying look at that 15-minute is because when we break out, there is oftentimes we retest. And so that's something that you need to be prepared for. But otherwise, you look good. Looks so good. Marble. That's definitely not it. But whatever that was, it's going higher. I'll take a look at it.
Is that video that Clutch Computers posted 15 hours ago? Is that yours?
Yeah. The white
That's
and
pretty
black
cool.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah.
Do you get to choose on the colors or no of your computer, the inside of them or no?
Yeah. I wanted black and white. I'm all about equality, so. I'm sorry. That was a bad joke.
Why no brown?
Nice.
Yeah, where's yellow and brown?
Because it's all
What the hell?
contained. Because you can make those colors with black and white. That's not true, but never mind.
No, you can't.
Let's carry on.
Well, by Discord.
I speak for
What about
Juan
my
when I say
phone?
that's terribly racist.
The Palantir contracts are ridiculous.
Oh, dude, they're juice, bro. That's fucking. Yeah, I was just peeping.
185s for like 30 cents.
God damn, dude. I bet you some
That's
people.
$60 out of the money.
That's fucking insane. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's honestly, you know who's gonna win? Option sellers,
The market makers.
market makers. Yeah, they're gonna fucking win.
And I wish
at
I
the
wish
end-
I had that equity still, like that 100 shares. I could have played that.
Oh, me too.
always leave.
Do you
some.
ever sell like calls and then use that money to buy puts?
No. I'll be honest with you, dude. Maybe I just got some mental disorder, but I don't know. It's like thinking upside down for me. I get it, but it's not something that I've ever seen as. I think now that I've gaining capital and I've got equity underneath me, like it has seemed advantageous at some points in time, but I'm not looking to do all that. And I have, for a very short period of time, explored those options. The only time I did covered calls on, the last time I did it was on a stock called Clover, ages ago. And that was the last time I
Oh
ever-
God, I remember Clover.
Yeah, I remember too. It
Yeah.
blew up.
Yeah, and then I had equity, and my boy was like covered calls, and so I followed him into it. Fuck, dude. They know PLTR will go up.
Is PLTR doing earnings this coming week?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I
Which-
do have some calls. Yeah, I got it for.
Yeah.
It's
I
Monday
mean,
morning, right?
you said Friday morning?
No, I thought it was Monday morning.
After hours.
After close.
Your next target is 282
Oh,
on
yeah, it
Lulu,
is after.
and you're looking for a break over 287. Make sure to watch this setup. Don't give up on it. Keep watch on it. I do think that you are going to go to 286.88 and try to go tap 293. So, thumbs up. TSLL for cheaper contracts. Yeah, I mean that's an option. You know what I find interesting on this one? You're not up against the wall yet. You're like hoovering. But yeah, if you're aiming for the same target on Tesla would be 1665, which is an astronomical amount. So I would have to be at least on TSLL. I'd have to be out a couple of weeks. So anyway, let's see. Oil you. No, I'll oil you, John. I'll come to the University of Alabama right now. Show you who the real professor of mechanics are. No, I'm sorry.
Hey, yo.
I'm sorry,
What
John.
is going on?
Nothing, I don't know. I got autism. Right, so let's see here. Supposedly no recession anymore. I mean, I'm not a data analysis, but if you look at the cost of rising goods and then the lack of money in people's paychecks and the lack of consumer enthusiasm, I'm sorry, that's not hard math for me to figure out. Like whatever positive aspect they're pulling over your eyes right now, unless something changes, right? But in the current trajectory, no, I can't. The recession is up our ass. So anyway,
Puts on my bank account.
there you go. Yeah, how do I hedge my my savings? 2012. Ain't nobody spending shit anymore. Been to your favorite restaurant lately? I don't think I've ever been to my favorite restaurant. If I'm being honest with you.
Just DoorDash is it?
I've got issues too. All right. $21 is where I would oil you, if it gets there. Right. That's 2010 break. It's a weird stock. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it has been some pretty juicy consolidation. Let's see. I would go back and try to find areas where it drops like that. Yeah, it takes. Look at that. So yeah, no brainer. You know, you get your nasty fall, and then you do a whole lot of gapping up. So yeah, I don't hate it. Kava. If you've never drinking Kava, bussin'. Tastes like dirt. Tempted to take it, and this is exactly where I wanted it. It's exactly where I wanted it. It's got earnings next week, is that right? Or hold on, when is this? Can someone give me an accurate earnings date on this? Kowalski analysis.
Yeah,
Dude,
if it's towards if it's towards the end of next week, it makes sense to wait.
Thursday,
right?
the May 15th. After
It's
hours.
if it's May 15th, I'm away. It might start
It
running
is.
up before, but 110 is the target. That's what I see. I mean, what else can you ask for, I guess? Ivy, is my face your profile? Oh my god. I just noticed Ivy's profile picture. Right. Let's look at NVIDIA. Everybody's wants NVIDIA. And my analysis is going to be exactly the same as it was yesterday, right? Yesterday I said 115 candle close above there, right? We did not do that. We are right at that wall. And you're pulling back, and you got a gap, and you have empty space underneath you, right? Above you, which this is your floor, this is your box, your target is a perfect 119.11. So I would look at a 115.50 break intraday, pop up, and take that motherfucker to 119. Period. All right. DAL.
This nigga's in a good mood, man. I can tell.
Hey, yo.
because his computer's coming.
Keys are dumping.
He's about to come.
My God, get the fuck
If
out
you're
of here.
ready.
Whoa.
We're on TikTok right now, buddy.
You
Damn,
were
dude.
on TikTok.
My Discord is. Yeah, make sure you listen to our Discord for a while before you join. If anything,
I was like,
it'll
you're coming.
it'll teach you emotional perseverance. You know. Yeah, if you want to try to take something a little special, I would be looking at a 486.50 target on the Qs if you're trying to do what we did yesterday. DAL, Delta Airlines, looks good with the candle close up against your wall with empty space in and towards the left. I feel like every time I talk, I sound more and more like a water boy. That's even funnier.
Oh, that candle.
Weatherman. Kitten's meowing. I do have a Discord, yeah. All these people are thankfully not in my house. Especially
So
Diddler.
you think?
I was gonna say maybe Diller's still there.
Hey, you thought that was the cat tickling the toes.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we're going to need security if we ever do a in-person meetup. Not to keep us safe from other people, but to keep
It's
us
gonna be
safe from,
awkward.
from ourselves.
Everyone's gonna be very proper.
Oh, hell no, dude. I'm going to make sure people turn up. There's no properness around me. What, do you think I'm fancy or something? I mean, you're there. Which is where you need to be in order to take your next trip up to 325, 326. You got empty space underneath you. So if you have, we're going into a weekend, so pull back. Oh my God, Mike. 290.31. How much extra for us to oil you up? Okay. Interesting. How do you join? You join by going to my YouTube channel, watching all of my free education, getting a great idea of what I do and what strategy I'm using, and then making.
And then you got to pass a test.
And yeah, I would hurry up because I am. Well, the test is good. I'm putting out a test, a discount test.
That's not the test. We're speaking of the
Well, a
other test.
discount test.
Testosterone test. In you, refusing to go. Yeah, so this thing.
Yeah, test.
Yeah, it's so close to the imbalance that I'd call it what it is, right? I mean, it's. You know what? I just figured out why my fucking Discord. Watch this. You ready? Now I'm fucking loud, aren't I? Yeah. Sorry about that. I just looked over to my right in my volume settings, and I'm like, my input volume's down at 25.
And would you put it on 100?
Hold on, I'm on live right now.
Stop yelling, bro.
So it's your fault.
Yeah. Okay, so that's in you. XOXL. Man, I hate that. I don't know why I hate that stock, but yeah, it does. It is out. Everything has shitty candle closes outside of the ranges, but this does have empty space up to 1492 with an imbalanced target directly up above you, which you pretty much grazed today. So above 1375, you could go up and touch the rest of that. But dude, that's I know I've been saying this and it's getting old. But most of these swings, especially over the weekend, it's worth it, to have some insurance. What's my YouTube link? Link is in the bio. Can I rule the free Discord, aka Gulag, the prison warden? That's funny. Not now. We got Ivy, dude. You have no idea what Ivy does to these people. It's terrible. She's a warlord. I'm gonna be dead ass with you. All right, entirely dead ass. And for you older folks, that means very serious. We got a gap up here at 73.89, but this chart is hot dog water in terms of structure and identification. You are closing green exactly where you need to, but if that's my target, period. All right, IWM up to 205. If you can handle the risk. It's not something about this. Anyway, I'm not going to elaborate, right? Because this is all my opinion. But 204.60 is technically, yes, Sheik, the target to the upside. So, any QQQ plays before close. If you want me to give you targets, I'll give you targets. But I don't know if I'm going to take anything. Last 5 minutes of the day. So, here's my thoughts going into next week, and use this information however you wish. I'm using this 2-hour time frame to help me identify what's above, what's below, right? All that good shit. So, to the upside, we still have a floor to go and break out 291.75. If we break over this overhead, your target to the left is here at 498, right? And you can see that on the 30-minute right there. So that would be my target to the upside, which means that if I'm trying to encapsulate the whole entire week of movement, probably need to be at Wednesday, which is going to be expensive. To the downside, right? Because I'm not seeing that low risk, high reward, shorter expiration contract opportunity. That's my point, right? I know yesterday, if you would have swung hedges, you would have been, Gucci on the upside, and probably would have been well worth it. But for me, we're up against what we need to break, and we're not really responding to it well. We have a structure underneath us that if we were to punch down underneath 485, you would have a target of 476. So 476 and 498, which, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. Mic volume too high. Oh, now it's too high. That's great. Is that better? No, that can't be better. Mic check. Is that better?
Sound good to me.
So good? Okay. I guess we'll just keep this away. I don't like this boom where the mic hangs like this. It always hits my
They can't be in TikTok dictating the volume.
Well, I mean, if it's blasting their fucking, if I sound like I'm in a tin can, then I don't want them to hear that. They're not dictating, they're just requesting or informing me. I appreciate that.
Get rid of them.
Okay, now that looks pretty juicy. Period. End of story. Stop asking. Don't fucking over analyze this shit. Over 59.41. Great candle close. Looking for a gap up. Target would be your imbalance. So I'm going to imagine that's 61. And next target would be 63. That's right. Weeble. Oh, yeah. Bull. Sorry, that made me laugh. Weeble at $81. Sorry. Oh, God. Charts like this crack me up. It's actually going to go back up, though. So that's cool. Might have to play that fucker. Oh, does it have options yet? Anybody? Hold on, let me see. No, me first. Bull. It does. Wee. You know, half tempted to buy equity on that. This is your, I've never said these words. That's your IPO box. How the okay, hold on. That's trippy. How? Isn't that weird? Sorry. Is anybody else
Seem real.
I mean, I'm sorry, that's weird. Like the cost basis is like where that pre-IPO. That's so interesting. I'm tempted to buy equity on this one. I mean, it's cheap. You got pockets of empty space up here. You know, inevitably, it is being held underneath. In just a second. 2 hands with that kitty cat. I love you. All right. Bye-bye. First next target is 1705, and then we're looking at an 1875 punchback to move up to 2250. Yeah, dude, I don't really feel, I don't know, man. My gut's just telling me to be cool right now, to sit back. You know, I'm looking at the chart. The chart's telling my gut's telling me. It's a big digestive conversation. The AMD broke out, hit the floor, and now you're boxed up, which makes your life kind of easy in the sense where you have a box here and underneath 97, no, and then you're up against the wall with $100 being your resistance with a 101 target directly up above you, maybe leeway up to 101.50. So blew up after hours first Friday, yeah. So, all right, Marvel. Same thing. Did I not? I must have skipped that. Yeah, you are responding to that resistance by rejecting, which just probably puts you in a more sideways, at least for now, area. And then this hourly makes your life easy, right? In terms of where this goes up or where this goes down. There you go. So, I mean, you know what you need to break. You got a good candle close on the 24-hour, decent candle close on the 24-hour. The weekly looks way better, but I don't think that party really gets started until you're above 68.50.
I always forget to go to the hourly to do those boxes. I'm going to do that more.
Yeah, lower time frame analysis cure. All right, folks. Wild week. Definitely had I really want you to come here next semester for a talk. Man. Is it cool if I drink beforehand? Anyway, damn, you got his feet. Yeah, I'm cool with going into the weekend just chilling. You know, there's room to speculate. I already said it. There's empty space underneath us. That's something I'm willing to speculate on. You know, the target being if you, and again, you have 15 minutes or 13 minutes to take a position, but okay, if you want my honest prediction, I think we go down. I for some reason I just see the empty space underneath us. You're operating in a channel, and I see us going down here. Now, whether or not that happens overnight, or you open up and you're like right here, you gap up, or you gap down, pop back up, retest, chop, and then break. So how we get there, right? But that's what I'm seeing right now. We're up against a major resistance. We've got empty space underneath us. So I think, yes, there is a possibility for a pullback. Whether or not you want to speculate on it, it's not a huge move, but it's also something that if you want to be sure, because it's only speculative, you can take it when it literally gives you the signal. So cool. All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend. I more than likely will be live tomorrow once it'll be later in the afternoon, like 4 o'clock, when this PC when this PC gets here. You know, I'll show you guys and stuff, but otherwise I'll be live on Sunday 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go live and try to see if this week is going to change anything, but I'm going to be 100% with you guys, especially over the last 2 weeks. If we are building a weekly range and we go back down, but we don't achieve any breakdown, there's a huge, saving this for last, we need to keep moving up, or the possibility of pulling back and not moving at all will happen again. And that's where we know that that's going to bleed our contracts, make trading hard. And I know that sometimes there's a good chance that I will probably, if I even see us opening up in range I'll post everything in my channel, and as soon as we break that range or we even get close to breaking it, I'll hop on live. But I'm really, really trying to make sure that when because I can feel it, and I know a lot of other people can too. There's a move coming, a bigger one than the ones that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks. We're building for that move. So this is even with today's small grind up, it doesn't feel real. And we have achieved nothing. So hopefully next week opens up the market a little bit more. And this Sunday we can build a watch list filled with things that actually have solid empty space. So, and most of the ETFs, unfortunately, just really lack those setups. Yeah, fill it in my balls. Okay, well, that's a good place to fill it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording on YouTube. See you next week.